Peace, everyone. Hey there. I'm going to give you all a moment to jump in as I get ready to start this live here today on a subject that I can talk a little bit about. I can't talk a lot to, but I'm going to share just some of my stories as it relates to homeschooling special needs children, some pros and cons around that. So I give you all a moment to jump in, and as you do, come on in and say hey, and make sure you say hi to me and give me a thumbs up and a heart. That'll be a great thing to do. So educating our own, and this is the subject around homeschooling special needs children, pros and cons of that. And while I don't have a special needs child, quote unquote, I have 4 children labeled special needs. So let me explain that. This subject comes up because I just received a message of someone who wants to homeschool their child. They desperately feel like they need to homeschool their child, but they feel like their child will not learn with them because the child has special needs, okay? So I don't want to make light of that concern at all, okay? And I only can tell you from my experience and what has come out of it, and this may be, there's so many different levels of special needs, okay, right? We all know that. There are levels where your child, they are cognitively at, hey Angela, they are cognitively at a, a level that they would never grow beyond. Maybe they're 3-year-old, 4 or 5-year-old cognitively, but by age, birth age, they may be in their teens. Okay, so we got that level of special needs all the way to special needs of ADHD or functioning autism, or the range is so large. So I won't try and address this all levels, but this is what I want to share. I share my story. Our older 4 we birthed, and our younger 4 children we adopted. And no matter what, your adopted children who are in foster care, we're normally all will have the title special needs, okay? And so, and the special needs that they may have is the fact that the parents missing in their home, and that therefore they have some emotional developmental issues or delays. Maybe there's no cognitive, but whatever the reason, they all have the title special needs. Now, I skipped to our first son we adopted. He was a singleton, and then we went and adopted a set of twins and a baby boy. At the time, the twins were 3 years old, and the baby had just turned 12 months old when I first maybe a few days after, or a week or so after we had met him. So when he came home, he had just turned 12 months, okay? And so our twins, they were in preschool, and they were labeled special needs, and they were actually in special needs classes and had an IEP of special needs. I really don't know if they were labeled special or put in special needs classes because they had that title on their paperwork, that they were special needs, or, what I was told is that they would never thrive and would never learn, and so therefore they're special needs. That's what I was told from their preschool administrator. They showed me the IEP, and they said these kids are greatly behind, right? And so being the mom that I am, and knowing that I am in for the, for the tough haul of this, and I will teach my children to learn, or I will teach them how to learn in the way that they can, or whatever. I'm going to be their instructor, and help them to thrive in that area. So we adopted them. Well, actually, before everything was finalized in December that year, I met with their preschool teacher, and at that time, we already knew we were going to adopt them, so they were at home with us, waiting for the process. I went to the preschool and let them know that I would be withdrawing my twins. At that time, they had both twins in 2 different classes, and which is, kind of hard. They are really close, so they had them in 2 different classes. My daughter at the time, very, very shy and quiet, and my son was a little bit more talkative, outgoing, but because she was so quiet, she definitely had this special needs, right? So on her IEP, it indicated she has failure to thrive, like she has the inability to learn anything. My son was in special needs class, not just a regular preschool class, but a special needs preschool class. And I can't remember his issue, but he was in those classes. And when we met, when I first met them, you know, they were a little shy, but they were talkative. And so like I do all my kids, and you probably do the same with yours. Okay, where's your nose? Where's your eye? Where's your ear? And I would say a phrase and say, now repeat it back to me. And they could do it. Everything I would do with them, they could do. And I thought, this is weird. They don't seem like they have any special needs or some learning developmental issue or something. And I made it out of a game. So they were having fun playing this game, trying to give me my answers and do what I told them to do and jump on their one leg and flip and roll and all this stuff, and they could do it. So needless to say, I went and told them, no, I'm taking them out of the special needs program and I'm going to be homeschooling them. I had got the okay from the judge, and so we were going to homeschool them. And so they strongly advised me not to homeschool these special needs children because they need all this special needs care. And at the time, not only were they in public school with these courses, but they were also getting all these home courses. And I was just like, I can't even imagine all these people coming in and out my house to teach them their colors, to teach them how to hold a pencil, you know, to teach them all of this stuff, which was things that I do, you know, with my kids. So what I want to tell you now is that was when they were 3 and now they're 9. That's 6 years ago. My kids, when I brought them home and started homeschooling them, I could see that they had all the ability in the world to learn. And I was in for the long haul to teach them what they needed to know and how they needed to know. My kids have thrived. You know, they started school at 4. I mean, officially, though they were in preschool, I saw them in kindergarten at 4. Cursive writing, numbers, all of the whole shebang, and now they're 5th grade and they're 9. Okay, so I actually started them early, so they're a bit of ahead, if you will, age to grade. And my daughter she is the sharpest in math. She is the sharpest in her education, her schooling, and she's a quick learner. I mean, I would say she's quick, but she's quiet and reserved. And some things it takes her a while, but once she gets it, she gets it. No developmental. And the same thing with my son, which he totally has nothing at all. Neither of them have anything. And the baby, of course, fine. Though he has special needs on his paperwork, he's not special needs. Now, I say and tell that story is because although I had these children who were labeled special needs, I knew that as a mom, I was going to be their best advocate and make sure that I was able to give them what they needed. Okay. Now, I have one extreme of someone who's in my association, my homeschool association here in the state of South Carolina. And she came to me and she said she actually put her daughter in school because she has Asperger's, not Asperger's, excuse me. She's on an autistic spectrum and she's aggressive, meaning she's very physical at home. And I think she is a teenager, 12, 13 or something like that. So she kept her in school because of the aggression. Well, now that she's in middle school, this aggression, the teachers were keeping her in the corner all day and not giving her care. All right. And something else, it was soiling her pamper, you know, that type of thing. And they just were not giving her the care that she needs. And I think this one particular day she did something like spilt water or something, and they were upset. And the mom was like, this is enough. And she contacted me to find out how can she begin homeschooling in the state. She says, yes, I'm going to have to deal with the aggression, but you know what? Who better to deal with it than me? And she brought her daughter home and she homeschooled her this past year. And the report is that they did well. I checked up on them and they said, yeah, I have learned what it is and why she gets aggressive. What is it that she's trying to do? She's trying to tell me something, and that's the only way she knew how to do it. But the long story short of it is that this mom said, you know what? No one better would do it but me. And she did it. This was a mom of color. And I could tell you so many stories of those who are in my association who decided to pull their child out of public school to homeschool them because of whatever the varying reasons are that they have these special needs, and they feel that I can do better than what the public school is giving them. So I want to give this as an encouragement. The pros of considering homeschooling your special needs child is because you're going to learn them. You're going to learn yourself. You're going to learn how to become a better parent to that child. Yes, that child may take all of your attention. That's a con, perhaps. And yes, it's going to require of you a lot more than what you would normally give, and that could be a con. And yes, you may even feel inadequate, like someone who has a degree to work with special needs should have your child. You know, that may be the thought process. But the pro is that no one really would be a better advocate for your child than you. However, I will say this, the con is if you know that your patience level is like this, then that's probably really is not for you. You do not want to be impatient to the point that you end up hurting your own child. But if you're willing to walk through it and learn how they learn, then you're going to be so proud that you were the advocate to make sure that your special needs child, black and brown child, is thriving and have thrived. Okay, so I wanted to give you those pros. No one's going to do it better than you if you are patient and loving and understanding, and knowing that no matter where your child is on the cognitive level, spectrum, if you will, they can learn on their wavelength and ability to learn. And I just feel that no one else is going to give the best to your child than you are. Angela says, we are so much more invested than a teacher who is looking after 25 other students. Right. Especially when it comes to a special needs child. Now, I had one parent who just wrote me. She's a part of my association here in the state of South Carolina. And she wrote me and told me that she will be putting her special needs child, back into high school special needs, because she felt that since she was home, that she was not thriving socially. Okay, and she said she actually saw her digressing. So to that, I would say, when you don't have the resources that you feel like you need, then you need to create it. So I have a group. It's only for South Carolina. It's called Upstate Special Needs Homeschoolers. So if you're in South Carolina, you can look up that on Facebook, Upstate Special Needs Upstate Special Needs Homeschoolers. And so this group is full of special needs family with children on all sorts of levels. And you know what they do? They share resources. And you know what they did? They started a support group for homeschooling. And you know what else they did? They started a play group so that their children can meet and see other friends. So if you're lacking something that you need, consider creating it and building it. You are going to be the best. Like Angela said, you're going to have the greater investment or a desire to invest in your child. No one else going to have that level than you are. Okay, so I want to encourage any of you who may be considering homeschooling your special needs, but you feel like you can't and you're incapable. Just know that there's still a village of people out here, and educating our own is also building that village, where you're going to find on the website resources to help you just in this area, all the way to helping you get the paperwork that you need. If your child needs special testing, maybe they have special needs, but they can still take SAT or ACT. They still can head on to college. There's special paperwork you need to get so that that can happen. Okay, so all of those resources, that all that insight is going to be given by our elders, village elders, who's going to be able to share out of their knowledge if you have a child that's special needs. Okay, so just know that you're not alone. There is a village of African homeschooling diasporic families who can relate and assist and help and aid and guide and affirm and encourage you on this journey. Okay, all right, so please keep that in mind. Stay tuned. Educating Our Own will have those resources on there as well. And if you feel like, if it's in the back of your mind, I should do this for my child, probably you should. And anything that's missing, if you build it, it will come. Okay. All right, you all, this is Angela Jordan Perry, and I am the founder and executive director of Educating Our Own. And I look forward to strengthening, encouraging, affirming, and providing the tools and resources so that you can educate your own child or children, because together we are building a village towards successful home education. Peace, everyone.